Hopefully we have got some sound. Yeah, hopefully we have got some sound. Hopefully we have got some sound. Sound. Please let me know if we have sound. Sound. Okay, cool. Yay, you guys can hear me. Okay, so I'm trying out a new title formula. That's big. That's the first thing, okay? Now the title is like transfemme lefty punk versus maga chuds in chat, which I think is a little clickbaity, but hopefully it's a new type of clickbaity, which will help maybe. It's not in all caps. There are some keywords in there, and there's some news stories thrown in there, like Kash Patel's leaked emails. Thanks, Ron. Wii music? Yes, yes. I knew somebody would get it. I knew if I did the Wii music, somebody would get it. Phoebes, what is the channel Discord? It's not. I'm not. Nobody's boosted the server, so it doesn't have. It's like a convenient little link. You might. Look at the last desktop stream I used or did and see if it's in there, because there might still be a valid link in one of those. Failing that, you might just have to wait till the next time I do a call-in show, which will be tomorrow. Damage, God's image. I gotta remember that. Do you want me to like call in by video or audio? Either, both. The way I do it is through StreamYard. I have people come in through Discord at first, and if you make it through Discord, then I send you a StreamYard link, and then then you're in. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you're rolling in, by the way. Don't forget it. It's important. Jay-Z, like the rapper, you're going to have to friggin' translate that into English. I don't even have a clue what you're trying to tell me right now. I'm not a woman. It's funny. That's not what your dad was saying last night when I was fucking him up the ass with my girl dick. He had no such disrespect on his lips. He just died. I didn't think I went that hard. But maybe I did overdo it. I apologize. Very strange. I disagree with you, I'm sure, on probably everything, but I enjoy your ability to discourse. Well, you're in the position of a lot of people that watch this channel. There's tons of people that I think, don't really agree with me on much generally, but they like listening to me talk about the things that I believe in and fielding the questions of people that feel like they do. It's a type of content I can see appealing to a very wide variety of people, which is why I keep doing it. Because I get to have conversations with an incredibly wide and diverse array of political opinions and class positions and stuff like that. You put a bad name on trans? I think I put a pretty good name on trans. I think I'm a pretty good representative of the trans community personally. You know, I'm pretty hard to get pissed. I'm pretty like measured and nuanced about the things that I believe in. I think I'm generally morally right when it comes to my positions. Of course, everybody thinks that about their positions. Howdy, Phoebes. Hey, Lady Ray! I haven't seen you in so long. What's up, girl? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Are you like an Amish rock star? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Heaven is full of weirdos. Send me to hell so I can listen to Ozzy. I couldn't agree with you more, friend. I'm sorry, but everyone around you failed you. Truly, I'm sorry. Don't worry, Henry. You don't have to be sorry for me, because I feel pretty good. I don't feel like the people around me failed me at all. I feel like I turned out pretty awesome. I've got a personality. I've done a lot of cool things throughout my life. I've made a lot of friends. Lived in a bunch of different places. You know, I do this, and that's a pretty unique job, which I really appreciate and find a great degree of privilege in. Okay, I am interested in what's developing here. Well, you should all be interested, which is why you should all be hitting the like button. Let's get us up to 20, folks. At least 20. We can do that right now. And that would be like a third of you double tapping your screen or hitting the button. This is not a job, mate. It is when you're monetized and you make regular donations off of it, yeah. Like, you may not like it as a job, but yeah, it definitely is. It unequivocally is. Speaking of this job, we are $202 away from getting a new goal I set that is a week-long content goal. You guys have a week to get it, but it is a 6-hour-long religion-focused show where we do a few call-ins, where we argue with some Christians, maybe some Muslims or Jewish people or whatever, but it's probably going to be Christians given the content of my chat. Argue about them, about their religion, talk about the relationship between right-wing evangelicism here in the States, right-wing kind of religious Wahhabism in the Middle East, and like the Zionist kind of Judaism crossover, and how all three of these relate to each other. It'll be really fun, and we're only $202 away from that right now. Kind of. It's more like holding a sign on a corner and asking for gratis. For gratis? For gratis? What? But if you pay your own way, then it's a good start. I mean, yeah, I pay all my own bills doing this. Like I said, you can think it's begging or whatever. I personally don't give much of a fuck what you think about it. Like, as long as you're sitting around watching and participating in the comment section, you are doing as much as I need you to. The other night you were talking about historic presidents with shady past. It was super interesting. Yeah, there's all kinds of, I was talking about mixed bags in the presidency. About how we used to have, like, dudes that were really reprehensible in a lot of ways, but at least they did a few good things. Like Nixon or FDR. Like, yeah, FDR interned the Japanese, but he also saved us from the Great Depression. So it's like, you know. Not anymore. I wasn't being mean either. Good luck, Palomino. What do you mean, not anymore? What does that mean? Read your last comment. Damn, how far back am I gonna have to go? I voted you to be my favorite trans person of the year. Aw. Well, Pink Fur voted me their favorite trans person of the year, so bully to you guys. Have you ever seen Untold History of the United States? They talk about FDR a lot. No, I haven't. But it's not surprising to me that a docuseries focused on, like, revealing parts of America's past we just don't talk about much anymore would focus on a figure like FDR. Because most people don't know what a fundamental effect he had on modern day America. What a transformational president he was. What a transformational administration that was. If you're trans and later on in life you develop Alzheimer's, is that like a hard reset for the brain? I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I was trying my best to be a girl even when I was a little kid. Like I have very early memories of wanting to dress in feminine clothing, of wanting to play with like girls' toys, wanting to be friends with girls more often than I wanted to be friends with boys, feeling like I understood girls more than boys, etc., etc. So I would imagine that if I did start to revert back to an earlier stage of life, given the fact that I'm already out as trans, already have a feminine wardrobe, I probably it might actually be cool on a certain level. I might even forget until I go to use the bathroom or something that I am. I might forget that I am trans. I might just be under the delusional impression that I'm a cis lady at the end of my life. Wouldn't that be pleasant? I get 6 months of, crazy dementia where I'm thinking that I was actually born with a pussy, That would be honestly pretty cool. I would be fine with it. I mean, Alzheimer's is not a great way to die, but if it would reset my brain to the point where I would still be trans but not really know it. That's the dream. It really is. I mean, it's not the dream. The dream is for them to actually perfect sex reassignment surgery. I genuinely believe that at some point they will figure out how to do trans person to trans person transplants. I know every trans man that I've ever been friends with, we've made the joke, wouldn't it be nice if we could just swap parts? Every single trans man I've ever known has joked with me about that, about how they trade parts of me in a second, and I've joked with them in the same way. So I think at some point they will perfect that, and that is when trans people can really rejoice and feel completely fucking, there's no defying it now, bitches. Because at that point, to deny trans people that have gone that far their right to be legitimate as the gender with which they identify would be to deny a person with a prosthetic leg the right to say that they can walk. It just makes no sense. Goals for sure. Hopefully you can get healed of your illness. What illness? What do you do I look jaundiced? No. A little red. Not jaundiced though. Hopefully it won't be insanely expensive though. Yeah, that's the big problem, right? It definitely will be at first, but that's why we need universal healthcare. And honestly, we should fight for universal healthcare before we fight for improved, honestly, we need to win some of the economic battles before we start fighting the social battles again. Just my opinion, but if you look back through American history, the social battles, the times when we've made the most progress on social issues, it's been during times of economic plenty for the most part. Politics are gross, no. Politics are important. I don't think it should be your whole personality, but I see why it's important to discuss, Would you ever consider running for office? No. No, I don't think I would. It feels to me like it would just be a waste of people's money, honestly. Because I know that my socialist ass is not going to be elected in a single... There's not a municipality in this country that would elect a person whose positions are as openly radical as mine are. I am an open fucking opponent to capitalism in all of its many and varied forms. I am an open opponent to any kind of foreign warmongering by the United States. Openly opposed to the military-industrial complex. Like, I bet if I looked over all of Zoran Mamdani's positions, I'm probably to his left. So, and there's only one fucking, there's only one municipality in this country where a person like Mamdani could win, and it was in NYC. No, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. Jackson, Mississippi has elected a socialist mayor a number of times, but it is a difficult thing to imagine a person who is both a socialist and openly queer and an advocate for queer people being successful at politics in the Deep South where I live. You can ask what you want, chat. Just be nice. Yeah, you don't even really have to be that nice. You just have to ask an interesting question that's worthy of me reading it. What are your thoughts on HRT as a whole? Have you taken it? Yeah, I have. It was a positive development in my life. I wish I could have continued taking it. I intend to be on it again as soon as I can. And I think it should be provided, I think it should be paid for by taxes like every other, healthcare service should be. I think it should be included as part of a comprehensive healthcare program as something that people can get if they need it. If you are a trans person, you should be able to get HRT, period, full stop. No fucking half measures. No fucking half measures. The private healthcare system has to be stopped, has to be overturned. No fucking half measures. Anybody in my eyes can do what they want except communism. That's too far. Why can't a community choose to do communism on their own? Who are you to tell a community how they can run themselves? On an economic level. If they're not torturing people for fun and profit, what does it matter? What is the humanistic concern if everybody's entered into this agreement and people that are born into the arrangement are given the opportunity at some point, hey, you can continue living here or you can go off somewhere else, either way. You can smell this video. Oh, how good do I smell? Can you smell my perfume? What kind is it? Is tomorrow the No Kings Day? Yes, tomorrow is a big No Kings Day protest. A lot of different cities are participating in it. Make sure you look up No Kings Day on Google and find out where the nearest No Kings Day protest is to you and be there if you can. I don't have one close enough to me to be able to get to it, so I unfortunately will not be attending a No Kings Day protest tomorrow. Instead, I will probably be doing a No Kings Day protest stream where it's just me talking about, the tendencies that Trump represents and why it's important to be an opponent of, not just the man, but the administration and the tendencies that he represents, the broader overall capture of the will of the American people by capitalism. What made you so into this, and how do you feel you will really impact it? I'm into politics because I'm affected by politics, like every other working class person in America and across the world is. The degree to which you are affected by politics, I guess, depends, but here in America, I feel like it affects us quite a bit, or at least has the potential to affect us quite a bit, and it's certainly been affecting us quite a bit in the last 20 years compared to how much it used to affect people in their everyday lives. I think it's more important now than ever for people to be involved in politics. And by that, I don't mean involved in the Democrat versus Republican football game. I mean involved in the actual work of building better systems that can survive the collapse of capital, that can survive a transition to a better system, that are prepared to help people towards that. Being into politics is about more than just being interested in the football game of Democrats versus Republicans. It's about real, long-term strategy, electorally, in terms of direct action, in terms of community building. In what way do you feel it directly affects you on a daily basis? Just wondering truly. Well, the fact that the voting tendencies of the American public have led to candidates that are completely, like both parties are completely willing to engage in war with Iran, has created conditions in which there were effectively no electoral options on the table, whereby the American people could avoid war with Iran. And as a result of the unified political tendencies of these two parties and the class interests that they both represent, we are currently engaged in a conflict that is not only killing Americans who I feel some kind of, kinship with, but also is driving up fuel prices, which has already driven up gas prices immensely here in the States and is causing outright shortages and massive lines and crowds and riots in other countries already. And that's just one example. What are your pronouns? She, her, hers. Politics is an illusion of free choice. Electoralism. Politics is just the study of how your life is coordinated on a government level and how state actors have worked to, have conspired to affect that. Politics is not just electoralism. Gotta smoke off screen to seem cool. Gotta smoke off screen to not get dinged by YouTube. YouTube wants to be the mommy fucking platform. YouTube wants to be the place where you go to watch family-friendly content made for kids. So, and they're just looking for people smoking on screen these days. I can tell. Phoebe, is racism permanent in North America? Racism isn't permanent anywhere. Racism is a learned behavior. Kids that are raised to see black people as normal, everyday, regular people with thoughts, feelings, interests, and dreams just like they are, will not be racist towards black people as adults. Why are some people obsessed with fucking Jesus still? Because there is a genuine problem here in America of Christian fundamentalism with an eye towards the end times. Because people like Kyle Kulinski aren't kidding you or exaggerating when they say that we are being led by a vampiric, pedophilic, fundamentalist Christian death cult. That's literally what we're dealing with. That's why. That's why so many people... I'm not saying that's every Christian. But if you want to know why so many people are constantly like, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you, Jesus is coming back, yada, 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 it's because we are living through a time where there are tons of people who have subscribed to a genuine, actual, real-life death cult. YouTube loves weirdos. Not really. I wish YouTube loved weirdos like me as much as you think they do. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream so far, hitting that like button and donating to help a small-time trans creator keep making content full-time. We are, I think, $202 away from a 6-hour-long religion-focused show where we cover some big religious demagogues from the last 20 years. Some of the people who've kind of controlled the narrative in that way. We examine some of the relationships between religious tendencies here in America, the Middle East, and in Israel in particular with the whole Zionist direction and everything. And we're also going to take some call-ins where we argue with Christians from the chat. If you're interested in seeing that, please consider donating. You can either do that via Cash App, which is down below in the description, or via Super Chat. Either way helps a ton, and I appreciate it more than you know. Argue with me, I will call you. I don't want to do a call right now. That's a lot of setup. Argue with me in the chat. You look so cute. Aww. Thank you. When's the last time you brushed your teeth? Earlier today? They're stained up because I smoke. You act like this is hidden knowledge written on some Egyptian tomb somewhere. You have to be some educated prophet to know about. I don't want to hate on you, just want to talk. Well, let's talk. I don't care about hate. It's not, listen, I'm fine. I'm just lazy. I'm not scared. I sit and talk to Republicans all the time. Literally, you can watch one of my last desktop streams, which I think it's members only right now, so you'd have to sign up for the membership. But, like, I talk to conservatives all the time. It's pretty much the main thing I do. I just usually do it through chat. I don't have a stream set up yet. I will be doing a call-in stream tomorrow. That's probably going to be, if I had to guess, between 4 p.m. CST and like 10 p.m. CST, something like that. You know, probably start between 4 and 4:30. But for now, for tonight, just chat. You've got a pretty decent character limit. No, I I do, like, I'm streaming right now, and I do desktop streams. I just don't have one scheduled for tonight. So it'd be a lot of setup just to do one call. You see what I mean? Do you believe that Jesus existed? I think that the preacher that we now think of as Jesus might have existed. I just don't think that he was the son of God. I think it's more likely that there was a series of figures that were all conflated together to make one figure, but he's really a composite. So is your focus on getting gas prices lower? And if so, do you care more about that than preserving nature? No. No, I wouldn't say that my focus is getting gas prices lower. I'm just illustrating one way in which politics does affect my life in particular. Like, if we're looking at it on the macro scale, one could argue that it's possibly a good thing that oil prices are being driven so harshly up, because maybe this will force countries like America to start modernizing their electricity infrastructure and investing in more renewables, and therefore, like, easing our dependency on oil. That would be a really positive outcome. But so far, it just seems to be driving up fuel prices and not really eliciting much change towards preserving nature. It's not really like preserving nature to make oil more expensive. Fuel is a pretty inelastic cost. I mean, I guess it's somewhat elastic, but like, people have to go to work. People have to pick up their kids. People have to get to the grocery store. I sent you another tacky t-shirt design. Nice. Let's see. Oh my god. We're going to have to change the text on this, I can already tell. I don't appreciate you. Oh my god, yeah. I like that one even more, actually. That one's even better. Margot, I love it. Margot's just busy sending me good t-shirt designs for the channel. What else do you do? I garden. I do other things. No, I don't know. I don't like talking about my personal life that much because it feels fucking weird, and I always feel like it's gonna backfire on me somehow. But I don't know. I garden. I like to play video games every so often, but I don't do it nearly as much as I used to. I genuinely enjoy cleaning, so a lot of the time that I spend when I'm not streaming and I'm not like actively working on something like in the garden or in one of our um pots, because all of our like herb garden is not like in beds or anything like that. It's all just like, anyway, if I'm not working with that kind of shit, I'm probably like doing laundry, doing dishes, housewife type shit. Because, outside of all of these other hobbies, music, pot, gardening, cleaning, because, like deep cleaning is fun. Fight me. I'm also like part-time mom, so like I have a pretty full life, you might say. King Bugs with the $10. King Bugs. King Bugs. King Bugs, King Bugs, King Bugs, King Bugs. Thank you for the $10. Now we're only 192 away from a 6-hour-long religion-focused show where you guys get to call in and debate me about religion, specifically. Only religious people on that one. If you're trans, how can you assume a traditional role? I mean, I feel like I don't really assume like a traditional role anymore, right? Like, sure, women have like traditionally been associated with cooking and cleaning, but, well, and gardening, I guess, to a certain extent. But like making your own money, like that's not like a traditionally feminine thing. Being all like edgy and shit is not a traditionally feminine thing. Being punk is not traditionally feminine. I feel like I'm a pretty complex mix of traits, frankly. No kings except bugs. Yeah, all parents are unique, for the better or for worse. Yeah, that's yeah. Ain't no fucking. You ain't kidding. Slay Queen, that purpose very feminine. Oh, I'm sorry that I had a bodily function in front of you, oh lord. Guess next time I'll just fucking die or whatever. Idiot. I don't know why I'm being so mean to you. Do you like to cook or bake? Favorite dishes? I love to cook and bake. My favorite dish to make in the whole wide world is pizza. I don't know that I'm that good at it, but my family says my pizza's good, so I assume they wouldn't lie to me. It does usually get ate. At least one of them will get ate up completely, and there's usually a couple slices dug into the other one, so that's a good sign, right? Um, but I also really enjoy making red beans and rice. That's probably like my second favorite dish to make, because I feel like it's a real demonstration of your ability to keep a recipe going and make something good come out the other end. If you make it the way it's supposed to be and it ends up with the perfect consistency, you've done it well, you've done it right, and you've put in a ton of effort and love that dish. So it's a dish that is kind of like a proof for a chef. I also really like making blackened chicken fettuccine Alfredo. I have like a homemade recipe for it that's tremendous and delicious and amazing. And honestly, my favorite thing to make overall in general, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet, but my favorite probably like thing to make in general, not maybe a specific dish, but I love smoking different meats. Not to sound like Mark Zuckerberg, but I have like this little electric smoker, and I absolutely fucking love smoking shit now. BRB getting a whiskey. Nice, King Bugs. We're in it for the long haul tonight. We're in it for the long haul. Well, now we are only 182 away from that goal. So you guys keep donating and we'll get ever closer. Remember, you can also donate via Cash App. That is down below. Oh, I'm so sorry. Phoebe, what? Phoebe, what's the weirdest combination of toppings you put on a pizza? Probably salami, pepperoni, and city ham. Or not city ham, country ham. Which, if you've never had country ham, it's a very weird experience. It's not like any other pork product you'll eat. It's like bacon, but if most of the fat was gone, and if it was just the chewy, like, meat piece that makes up the bacon, if it was just that chewy meat piece, but it was way thicker, it's kind of like that. It's very salty, it's chewy, it's served thin, but it also is just delicious and salty and just, it's got a kind of a funk to it because it's allowed to grow this like natural mold on it that like transforms the meat in this specific way. I don't know. If you look into the fucking science behind country ham, it'll gross you out. Don't do it. But you know, the taste is good. Back and equipped with whiskey. Holy shit. Equipped with whiskey and a 20 kick. Hell yeah. Let's get this dono train going. Other people can keep this up. $5 or more and you keep up the dono train, bitches. King Bugs can't lift this whole friggin' goal by his freaking hefty shoulders. You guys are putting too much weight on his back. By the way, now we're only $62 or $162 away from the religious show. The religious ode. Trump, love UK. Why do you like Trump if you live in the UK? Why? What? Country ham is like ham steak. It's not, it's kind of like, yeah, kind of. Kind of. But not really. Way chewier than steak. The thing I've heard it compared most closely to is prosciutto. For the religion stream, nice! The dono train continues. Religious, 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 religious. Thank you, Lady Ray. I appreciate you a ton. Let's see here. Jesus loves you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, I appreciate it. UK people understand Trump's assignment. We have the enemy at our table. What? Huh? I don't, like, once again, I don't even know why the fuck a person in the UK would have an opinion on Trump that would be anything like positive. What positive effect could Trump have possibly had on your country? Like, can you elucidate it? Like, I'm just genuinely asking. Maybe you've got a point. I don't fucking know. I've genuinely never heard anyone make the argument. It is a first for me. I didn't know there were Brit bongers out there fucking hard at for Trump. Trump is amazing? If you say so. I think he's the symptom of a deep, deep disease within American politics and class structure. Oh, God. Oh, my fucking God, y'all. Oh, my God, y'all. I just touched something that I thought was a little tobacco, but it was a fucking wasp. I don't know if it was asleep or what, but it somehow did not sting me, and I threw it down and I squished it, but that was fucking holy shit. Woo! Woo! If there's one thing you bitches scared of, it's fucking wasps. Oh, I hate them with a red hot fiery passion. Oh. I seem like a cool person. I am. I may hate Trump, but that's no reason why we have to hate each other. In fact, American MAGAs, you're a pussy if you don't agree with that statement. Just because I hate Trump doesn't mean we have to hate each other. Just because you hate Kamala doesn't mean we have to hate each other. We do need to start hating our fucking politicians, though. On both sides. Because I don't know about you, but I don't look around at politics and see a whole lot of motherfuckers working for the people. I see a whole lot of grifters. I see a whole lot of people making a fat stacks of cash off our fucking backs and tax dollars. I don't really actually see a whole lot of progress being made in America towards solving any of the myriad of problems that affect us. All I see are gas prices getting higher, roads getting older and more decrepit, bridges getting older, people dying of preventable illnesses. And I don't see a politician on the right or the left working to fight against that. There might be 4 fucking people that caucus with the Democrats that fight against that shit. There might be 4. Look at that, King Bugs, keeping the train going. Let me do some calculations. So we are now down to $147 away from the religious ode. 6-hour-long show that will feature call-ins, religious content, all kinds of stuff. Trans Unity, aw, thank you so much. I appreciate the fucking loving comment and the $2 and the wishes for Trans Unity. I, too, believe in the concept of solidarity. Why trans unity? Why not just get along with everybody? Well, yeah, no, trans unity doesn't imply that you don't also get along with everybody. No, trans unity just means like, hey, like, I'm gonna, like, you know, reach out to other trans people and make sure that they've got a support system, because trans people are kind of vulnerable, and, you know, it's just like, it's like not oppositional to any other group. It doesn't, like, just because you believe in trans unity doesn't mean you can't also believe in, like leftist unity or American unity or global unity or whatever. Listen, the basic idea of unity within marginalized groups is that if you're a member of a marginalized community, there's a like a personal and individual incentive, but also a broader overall reason and altruistic motivations for why you might want to reach out to other people that are in that same marginalized community and offer them support and camaraderie and a feeling of community, something that they might not be getting. It can help people when you reach out to them in that way to make them feel like they're not alone, to make them feel like there are other people. And not only that, not only are there other people fighting for the same causes as they are, but there are people that they can work alongside, whose efforts they can bolster, uh, whose work could bolster their efforts. Very simple concept. And it does not exclude you from working with any other group. Would you agree that trans people are currently in some state of genocide here in America? Yeah, no, I mean, it's irrefutable fact. Yeah, the beginnings of a trans genocide are here. Speaking of the beginnings of a trans genocide, there is a bill currently being passed around in Tennessee that is literally going to compile a publicly accessible list of trans people. Um, Giant violation of HIPAA law, almost certainly will be challenged if it does get passed. But it's a scary fucking thought, and if it happens, it's going to sweep across the entire South. So it's about to get time for, listen, there's a reason why the Underground Railroad existed, and it's about to be time. In fact, there are some people like Jess, I don't know if she's still here, there are some people that would argue it's been time for maybe like 5 or 10 years to get the fuck up out of the South. And maybe it's always been time to get the fuck up out of the South if you're like trans or queer. I don't personally like that idea, but if it gets to the point where they're going to be like publishing our names on a big list somewhere, yeah, you might want to get the fuck out of Dodge. I'm in the South and I need to leave. Well, I'm telling you, Margot. Um, any way you can. There are resources in California that don't exist here. I'm not saying being homeless in California is perfect, but I'm telling you, being a beach bum in the Central Coast is way the fuck better than being a beach bum on the Mississippi coast. I'll tell you that much right now. Having experienced both lives, I can tell you this much. I would much rather have a medical emergency and have to go to a doctor or something on the Central Coast of California or somewhere in on the West Coast than I would have to do that same shit here in Mississippi. I can tell you that much. Most beautiful land in the nation. Sucks to live there. Mississippi is not the most beautiful land in the nation. Sorry. Or are you saying that about California? You better not be saying that about Mississippi. Listen, I love the swamp too, but that's about all there is to it. Northeast is nice. I've lived there. Yeah, Northeast is incredibly nice. California? Not Mississippi. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no, California is a dope place to live. I don't know why anyone would be saying it sucks to live there. You do have to hustle a little harder in California than you have to hustle in a lot of other places, but the hustle's worth more in California than it is in a lot of other places. You can do more out there than you can in a lot of other places. You can do more, you can see more. Things are happening there that just aren't happening in most of the rest of the country. And it's not just California. New Mexico's the same way. Things move at a slower pace there, and you're more likely to get bombed, I suppose, because of the military installations. But Colorado is also another good candidate if you're trying to get out of the South and towards a state that is actually somewhat human. Here's the states I would recommend. If you are a trans person or a queer person trying to leave the Deep South and you want to get to a more liberal or progressive state, here are the states I recommend from west to east. Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, probably Rhode Island and Connecticut too. I haven't been there, but I would assume so. Maine, might be fine. Maybe in Maryland. Vermont, I forgot about Vermont. Easy to forget. That's about it. If you're a trans person trying to escape the Deep South or a queer person trying to escape the Deep South, you need to head west, north, or northeast. Minnesota or Illinois, the West Coast, with the exceptions of Utah, Montana, and Idaho, or the Northeast, with the exception of New Hampshire. They're all expensive as fuck. Every single state I just mentioned costs more to live in than any of the states in the Deep South. It's not going to be easy. I'm sorry, it's just not. But 'tis better to live broke as fuck in a place that's not going to kill you for being trans than to die for being the wrong gender in the wrong place at the wrong time. Choose to live, guys. Oh, God. It is so hard to get people to just fucking take an active interest in their own existence. Choose to live. Choose to survive. And I'm not saying it's that bad yet, by the way. I'm not saying that everybody needs to get up and go right now, but I do think we all need to be making our preparations because I think the fucking situation's getting dire. This whole conversation started because someone asked me if I think that we are at a critical tipping point where there's a genocide happening against trans people in the United States. And yes, there is. And it's concentrated in the Deep South and much of the Midwest. And yeah, I think that trans people should be making preparations to get out of there. Now, maybe things will change. Maybe fates will reverse, and maybe we'll be able to maybe we'll be able to change the way our states operate. I mean, you should continue to be active in politics and continue to vote and continue to advocate and everything. But if that doesn't work, failing that, people need to be ready to get the fuck out. King Bugs with another $10. Look at that. And just like that, we are down to 137 now? Yeah, I think 137. 137 away from Religious Ode. If you want to know what the Religious Ode is, just ask me. Phoebe says, live your life, yet is pro-abortion. Yeah. Because that's literally part of living your life. Yeah. I value the life of a living adult mother, or sometimes a not adult mother, sadly. But I value the life of a living mother over the potential life of what might eventually be a human fetus, or what maybe is a human fetus and might eventually be a human baby. Now, obviously, after a baby's born, we should do everything we can to make sure that it lives as long as possible and has a good childhood and a good life. But, like, people need to have access to the medical care that they need. I feel like the culture war just divides us more. It does. Ultimately, the billionaire class does not care what side of the aisle the plebs land on when it comes to the abortion debate. Look at that, fucking King Bugs keeping it up like the king that he is. Holy shit, King Bugs must be getting drunk as shit. Is King Bugs even saying anything else in the chat, or is he just flexing on all of us? No, but he's just flexing. Nice, King Bugs. I appreciate it a ton. Look at that. Thank you. Now we're down to 127 away from the Religious Ode. You guys, some of you guys, others need to contribute. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't appreciate King Bugs. I obviously fucking do. But it would be so nice if some of the rest of you guys would fucking, you know? Sorry, is that too beggary of me? Here, I'll make it even better. I'll make it even better. This ought to get some hater donos. Oh no. Where's my sign? Oh, there it is. It's the bottom of the damn guitar. A relic of my past, if ever there was one. Free Israel? I agree. Free it from the aid of American taxpayers and allow it to be serviced by the tender mercies of the collective Muslim community. I'm sure they'll treat them just fine. I'm sure there's nothing Israel's done to the Muslim community that would turn them against them, right? If Israel's such a perfect and quaint little fucking beneficial state that's just so joyful and conducts war so peacefully, well, then maybe they don't need billions of my fucking money then. Maybe they don't need billions of dollars worth of our money then, huh? Maybe. Maybe we can just let you guys kind of figure it out and see what happens. If you guys treat your neighbors so well, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Right? There's nothing Israel's done to the Muslim community or its fucking neighbors that would possibly engender hatred against them, right? Uppies, I can't pick you up. You're too heavy. Joker mode. Kind of. Yeah, I do go a little Joker mode when I start talking to genocidal Israelis. I do. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of go a little Joker mode. Trump should deport this scumbag? You can't deport an American citizen. Just goes to show you, though, deport was always meant like this deportation rhetoric, this anti-immigrant rhetoric. It's always just been a way of trying to justify further political violence against political opponents. No wonder you're trans. You couldn't find a GF. Bitch, I've probably fucked more pussy than you've sat next to at restaurants. Are you kidding? Do you know who you're talking to? I'm a whore among whores. I've sucked more dick than you've ever seen in a locker room, and I fucked more pussy and eaten more pussy than you've ever sat next to in a fucking restaurant lobby. It's actually kind of gross if you think about it. You're funny as hell. And I don't even try that hard either. I kind of just sit here and talk shit. How many different ways are you going to smoke? Shut up. Obamacare doesn't cover that cough. No, it does not. It sure enough don't. Obamacare was such a fucking fail. Man, what a disappointment. Whatever. I was 10. I guess I can't complain like I was fucking involved in these decisions in any way, but man, it sucks. I remember my parents and everybody else and everybody in America being so hopeful. Even Republicans, for the first couple years of Obama's administration, were hopeful. Then 2011 comes, and the fucking Affordable Care Act gets passed, and it's basically just a giant handout to the insurance companies with the public option ripped up out of it. It's shameful, really. The trolls, I mean, like, honestly, views have been pretty okay. Donations have been stellar, spectacular, but that's mostly because of King Bugs. But, like, the trolls themselves have been dog shit. Like, dog shit. But below mediocrity. Are you male to female? Yes. Yeah, I am an MTF trans person. Yeah. We usually just call ourselves trans women, though. And you also can refer to us as trans women. It's not a sin. You can be like, hey, are you a trans woman? In fact, you know what? I think it would actually be refreshing if a person was like being nosy like that and was just like, hey, I'm sorry, this probably is really impertinent and it's impolite, I'm sure. But are you a trans woman? You know, I'm sure that like that would probably bother a lot of people, but it would probably bother them a lot less than like the weird intrusive questions that we usually get in place of that. Someone pull some good trolls from Instagram to make this more interesting? Yeah, please. Restream this shit on Insta or something. I should try streaming on Insta. Insta's got streaming, doesn't it? What's your worst chaser moment? Oh my god, okay. Oh my god. Okay, so I was craving dick, okay? No shame in my game. I was craving dick. Not like, I'm not like a bottom necessarily, but I do like to give oral. And so I got on the apps and everything, and I'm always very upfront about being a trans woman, pre-op, all that. So there's never any surprises or whatever. But I was doing stuff with this guy in the back of my van, and I gave him a blowjob, and then actually he gave me oral first, and then I was returning the favor, and when I started to really get into it, he said something like, "You cross-dressing little whore," or something cross-dresser, and it just moment destroyed. All the hotness went out of it. It was like, oh no. Because it's honestly, I think I can stand being fetishized for being trans on some level, but I'm not a cross-dresser. I've got nothing against cross-dressers, but I feel like I am spiritually and mentally a woman, and it was a moment that kind of completely killed my libido in a moment where I was kind of building up to having some fun with the interaction. And luckily, he was very understanding and apologetic, and we talked for a little while after that because I didn't want him to feel like it was an experience he needed to be ashamed of. But then eventually, I eventually ghosted. So that was the worst chaser moment ever. Because I really didn't get chaser vibe off of this person until that moment. Ugh. Gooner culture messed bro's brain up? Gooner culture. Interesting. I'm sitting here talking about actual real life sexual experiences, not masturbation. But you're still sitting here thinking about gooner culture, which tells me what you're doing with your free hand that's not on your cell phone right now. I sent you gifts. Thank you. I did see them. I appreciate the gems. I appreciate it. Well, there are 2 channel discords now, Jess. There are 2. They're competing discords. There's one ran by Gemma and Rob that I also have mods in, and then there's the one that you created. Are you a Satanist? No. You a fucking Satanist? Your biggest flops, my biggest flops say your greatest hits. The game's mine again. The game's mine again, and ain't nothing changed but the lock. So before I say this, God damn it, I used to be able to rap that whole song. You fucking Satanist? My biggest flops say your greatest hits. The game's mine again, and ain't nothing changed but the lock. So before I say this, bitch, mwah, give Jade a kiss. Had to wake up Labor Day to this. Being rich shamed by some prick because I said a God's damn name. Now I got a cock. God damn it. No, I am way too high to do it. I fucking can't do it. But I used to be able to rap Kill Shot. No, I could still do it. I'm just a little bit too stoned. Plus, I could use the bathroom, and that's hindering me as well. You had the same jacket on last time I seen you 2 months ago? Well, yeah, it's like a fucking characteristic look at this point. I don't wear it every single stream, but, I do. I will say whenever I've got like a permanent set up, like one where I can just have like it set up permanently the way I want it to, I will probably not wear it as often. I'll probably have it somewhere in the background. Kind of want to get a mannequin, but not with a human head, like a bird head. Bro sure is cherry picking comments, ain't he? Maybe I would read more of your comments if you weren't constantly misgendering me. Huh, interesting that. I mean, you can bitch about it, but, you know, that is not going to increase the chances that I read your comment. Are those lighter tops on the vest? Yes, indeed, they are lighter trophies. They are, there's 47 of them, I believe. Love the jacket. Thank you, Melanie. Hail Santa, our Lord and Savior. I agree. Hail Santa. Christmas, Christmas time is here. Time for joy and time for cheer. Hope I get a hula-hoo. What's your favorite cookie? Chocolate chip. Just generic chocolate chip cookies. Genuinely, I'm a basic bitch. Can you do a transpath live at some point? Help with outreach? Yeah, I mean, we can certainly try. I don't know how successful it'll be given the type of audience that I tend to attract, but we can definitely try it. Yeah, for sure. We can coordinate on Discord. I can't eat candy that much, but I try. I don't. I avoid candy more often now than I used to. I will get me like a candy every so often, but now I have like 2 candy bars a month where like there was a time in my life where I was eating like legit like there was a time in my life towards the end of high school where I would eat like a candy bar every day. That was coincidentally the same time period in which I gained most of the weight that I've struggled with throughout my adult life. I really did not start treating my body well until like 2 years ago. And slowly but surely since that time, I've been losing weight and feeling better and having less joint pain and stuff like that. I drink a ton more water these days. I eat a lot less candy, like I said, a lot less sweets in general. But, you know, I feel like honestly the biggest change I made was eliminating sweet tea because I used to just drink incredibly sweet tea all day long. And that was the main thing I drank. And now I will have like 2 to 3 iced coffees, and they're pretty like calorie intensive. You know, they're sweet. They're not as sweet as something you get at a restaurant by any means, but I wouldn't be surprised if my morning coffees have a collective, like 600 to 700 calories within them. Wouldn't shock me. But then after that, I move to water, and I don't eat nearly as much as I used to. Like fucking sweets or no, like just in general, I don't eat nearly as much as I used to. I eat way smaller portions, and I usually eat like twice a day within the like same 4 to 6 hour period. And whatever I'm doing, it must be working because slowly but surely I continue to shed pounds. I switched from soda to La Croix and somehow put on 5 pounds. You probably were drinking way more of the La Croix than you were the soda, if I had to guess. But I don't know. Is La Croix like, is it calorie free? Normal. Someone who can identify themselves without the fear of other people questioning them. Are you normal? Yeah. I don't give a fuck if you question me. I am what I am. You can say whatever you want about it. It's not going to change the facts. It's not going to change how I feel about it. It's not going to change the arguments I'll make by it. It's just your opinion. How did you end up like this? Lots and lots of personality development, friend. Lots and lots of personality development. I started drinking a lot more soda after getting sober. Many such cases. King Bugs with another $10. And with that, we are down to like 117 from the religious ode. I hope that whiskey is treating you well, King Bugs. Water. Juicy, delicious water. What was your egg crack moment? Like, the egg crack moment, is that when you're like, okay, I can't stand it anymore. I've got to come out. I'm doing this shit. Is that it? We are all amazing in our own way. Remember that. Aw, thank you for the $2, and I appreciate the kind comment as well. That's awesome. Thank you, Madison. Well, that brings us $2 closer, which means we are now down to only $115 away from the religious ode. Nice. I'm drinking Wild Turkey 101 straight. Nice. That sounds good. That sounds delicious. Did your parents allow you to grow up like this? I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess. I, obviously didn't have a patch vest when I was a kid, but I was raised by some pretty unconventional parents, I would say. So, yeah, I don't think it's much of a surprise to either of my parents that I turned out a patch vest wearing trans punk lefty. This stream is brought to you by King Bugs. Long live the king. Yes, 100% Margot to hell. Thank you so much. And with that, we are now only $110 away from the 6-hour religious episode. We're going to cover some religious zealots of the last 20 years. We're going to do like 2 hours of call-ins. It's going to be super fucking fun. And we're also going to look at a unique relationship that we will probably be, we'll be taking our first look at it Sunday when we watch The Power of Nightmares together, because we met that goal last night. So that'll be Sunday. But tomorrow, it'll be a different show entirely. Tomorrow, it'll be 2 hours call-ins and then 2 hours of bad food content. I'm headed out for the night. Love you, Phoebes. Aw, Lady Ray. Well, good night. I drank well whiskey, whether Irish or American, but I preferred rye whiskey. Nice. Where can I find for link live the discords? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Check the last desktop stream. By the way, the other goal that's attached to this content goal is memberships. Don't forget, you can gift memberships if you're interested in doing that. They're very cheap, and either level of membership will qualify for this goal. But to get that religious ode, we also need to see 50 more memberships. And once again, you guys have a week to goal. It's not like you have to do it in the next 2 hours. You guys have 7 days, so let's just dip back into the chat and see what we have to talk about. I want to walk freely with a skirt, but people will attack me. If that genuinely is the case, then it might genuinely be time to think about moving to a more progressive area, because no one should have to feel like they are in genuine danger of being attacked merely because they've got the wrong clothes on. That is never a justifiable reason to engage someone in physical violence. Anyway, donate, people. We're $110 away. And 50 members. Alrighty. And we're back. Ooh, cold. Being gay is just not controlling your urges? Bro, that is retarded. I hate to tell you this, friend, but if you're a dude that constantly feels the urge to fuck other men up the ass or to get fucked up the ass by other men, I'm sorry, but you're at least a little bit gay. Like, you might be bi, but yeah, there's a little bit of gay in you. I've known tons of, like, genuinely straight guys that were allies to the queer community that did not ever, like, think about that in terms of, like, oh, that would be fun. I even knew one who was like, I mean, I tried it because, like, I always liked the idea of double teaming somebody, and I got the chance to do it with somebody once, and so we fucked around, but I didn't, nah, not my thing. Uncomfortable. But that person was very, like, pro-queer, and they were like, yeah, I mean, I, like, did something that was, I guess, like, same-sex experimental, and I was like, yeah, no, not my cup of tea. And that is such a, like, genuine statement that it's hard to argue with. Why should you control your urges if you aren't hurting anyone and is consensual? Yeah, that's another good question. Like, arguing that every single person has, like, the urge to do same-sex stuff with, like, everybody. Honestly, it sounds like you're a bigger advocate for fucking queer people than I am, because I don't think I've ever said that everybody is queer, but what that person literally just said in chat is, like, basically the equivalent of everybody is queer. I'm far too amused by the trolls here. Yeah, the trolls are pretty hilarious. Sometimes they're banal and boring as shit. It just depends on how they're feeling that day, I reckon. Hedonism is hurting yourself? In what way? I do think there is a person of the same sex everyone would risk it all for, but whether or not they would ever meet that person is a different story. Yeah, I agree with you, Taylor. I mean, like that's the thing. I think that sexuality is a spectrum. I think that you can be perfectly straight and, do something same sex with somebody and it not be gay necessarily. I think that there is, like, a wide fucking variety of nuances to this topic. People want to look at it as gay or straight, but you broaden it to bisexual, and most people can accept that. But then you start talking about, well, there's lots of people that are bi, but mostly they're into women, or mostly they're into men, or maybe they're, like, gay, but they're like, sometimes I like to fuck someone of the opposite sex. People are complicated, and our sexuality does not often make a whole lot of sense. I think a lot of people would benefit from admitting and making amends to the fact that they're all a little bit bi, and that is okay. Yes, I 100% agree. Yes, literally, it is okay. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay. In fact, if you just allowed yourself to feel that for a second and like acted on it a couple times and didn't feel shame afterwards, you would probably like, not think about it as much. You would not be so preoccupied by it. It would just become like another aspect of your social life. Like maybe you meet someone cute at a bar and you fucking do some stuff with them after you all get drunk, but like it's not weird and you're not fucking hung up on it anymore. You're not thinking about it constantly. You're not hating on people and you're not voting in policies that destroy people like you because you're unwilling to admit that about yourself. It's like people fuel these preoccupations by not addressing the root cause, by not just admitting, okay, yeah, I kind of like the idea of a big dick. Just admit it to yourself. Just fucking suck it. Just do it. Just meet a fucking cute guy or a fucking cute trans girl on fucking Tinder and fucking do it. It's fine. I mean, not like if you genuinely don't want to, you don't have to, but I'm just saying, like, there are plenty of people that have those desires that pretend to not to, like, but that you, like, we all know what porn they jerk off to. Nobody said being straight was homophobic. Yeah, literally, nobody ever said being straight is homophobic. People hear what they want to hear, dude. People fucking straight up do hear what they want to hear. Y'all have a good one. I'm out for the night. I have a lot of things to get ready for. Hey, Jess, we will talk about that show more on Discord. We can definitely set something up where we can talk about it for like an hour. And maybe we can even like do some research into some other resources. We can go into some of the reasons and developments why this like transgenocide is developing, how it's developing, how you can fight back, and how you can escape if you're not able to fight back, or if it's become unsafe for you to do so. Male, masculine, and so straight that I'm attracted to femboys and women. All men who are straight are, they're just uncomfortable with it. I like that. I like that. I mean, literally, like, femboys are very often, like, just, like, very feminine and hot. So, honestly, if you say you're not attracted to boys, I kind of just think you're full of shit. I don't even think you have to be queer to be, like, or, like, straight or anything to be into femboys. Like, women, men, non-binary people, everybody. Femboys are the lifeblood of the sexual economy. Phoebe has attended church. That is true. I grew up going to a Pentecostal church, and I have went to church in my adult life. I was raised in Catholic school, taught to obey that one golden rule, that is he who sits in the heavens above, deserves all your praise, devotion, and your love, because he had a son who has died for our sins, and with that sacrifice came a sense of contrition that we all seem to feel when we're down on our knees, looking up to God, hoping he'll answer all our needs, but I tend to believe that it's all for naught. And when the sun does set, all our souls will rot, along with our flesh and our bones and our blood, will seep into the earth, reconnecting with the mud. And I think to myself, what a beautiful life, to waste being devout to what could all turn out to be a lie. To be a lie. That's just resin. We never discussed your church days much. Were y'all super involved? My BF is traumatized from the Pentecostal upbringing. I don't know. We weren't as involved as some families were. I don't think we were probably not nearly as involved as your boyfriend. Like just based on that alone, because I don't necessarily feel traumatized from the Pentecostal upbringing other than the very stark idea of hell that we were raised to believe in. But my parents were not Pentecostals. My grandma was the Pentecostal, and as soon as I got old enough to where existentialism was giving me nightmares and the idea of hell and permanence and all this shit, like honestly, my mom telling me that people don't go to heaven or hell, in her opinion, like that was transformational. Her letting me know that that was an acceptable belief saved me from like months of panic attacks. And she just like, I guess she'd just been watching my mental health get worse and worse. It was getting to the point where I was like literally just like openly crying and sobbing for no reason. And, I think she couldn't resist anymore. And we had this like long conversation about religion. And I think she genuinely felt bad that she had let me go to church because she felt like I've talked about it with her since then, and she said that she saw in me the same exact pain and anguish and fear that she felt being raised in the Kingdom Hall. And, she had left like the JWs fucking years and years, like fucking years before I was born, right? But like she saw that same fear that caused her to walk away from the religion that she was born into. And I think it was actually like it was definitely a bonding moment for both of us. I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8, maybe 9, but it was a moment where I got to know that, yeah, I mean, some people believe that death leads to this state of like permanence where nothing happens and growth stops and time is um, eternal. But lots of people don't believe in that, and there's no evidence for the idea that there's a hell. Maybe there is, maybe, but we don't have any evidence for it. We don't have any evidence for a heaven. The only reason you should believe in it is if it makes you feel better, and a lot of people it doesn't. And a lot of people that do believe in the heaven don't believe in the hell that your grandma believes in. Like she gave me the whole like religion rundown. What is your biggest problem with America? The fact that we allow the billionaire class to rule with impunity. Because that covers basically all of my problems. The fact that we don't have a universal healthcare system can be traced squarely back to billionaire control of all of our systems, subversion of our electorate and our governmental systems and our high offices by the billionaire class. Only reason we don't have widespread and advanced public transit is because the billionaire class. Their class interests align with the auto industry making more and more money and the oil industry making more and more money. And, well, the most efficient way to run public trains is unfortunately not with big, loud, stinky diesel engines. It's actually with like highly efficient electric trains that draw their power from substations that are usually powered by solar installations or hydro or wind or nuclear, sometimes coal. But even then, that's not fucking oil. That's not natural gas. There are some natural gas power plants out there, I guess, but you get the idea. Get rid of the billionaire class, you get rid of most of the problems. Hell, even just taxing the billionaire class would be an improvement. So billionaires, not like the mere existence of billionaires, the fact that they're allowed to have a complete stranglehold over American politics. Thank you, King Bugs, for the additional $10. With that, we are only $100 away from the religious ode. You guys keep that in mind. Oh my God, we are doing so good. Thank you so much, King Bugs, you genius, you gentleman, and you scholar. Bugs is the fucking MVP. Busk, okay, I'll play some music. Okay, I'll do it. I'm gonna have to get more stoned for this, though. We're gonna have to get more stoned. What about the countless testimonies on, dude, countless testimonies from a Bronze Age book of bullshit. Tell me more, man. Tell me more. You know, people in 2,000 years are going to be worshiping Harry Potter and being like, what about the multiple testimonies of the trials of Snape? Or whatever. Like, look at all these accounts from the books. And the ghosts of us, their ancestors, will be looking down on them like, no, you idiots, it was fiction when it was written down. Are you not worried about the chemicals being pumped into your system? There's evidence linking anxiety and depression and other mental illness to a structured plan. To a structured plan? What? Huh? What are you talking about, bro? Are you dealing with mental health issues? Man, I don't feel like I'm as crazy as the average motherfucker in society anymore. No, I'll be honest with you. Like, I think everybody deals with mental issues to some degree or another. But, as time goes on, yeah, no, I don't think I'm hardly the craziest motherfucker out there these days. Nah. Compared to the average, I think I'm pretty sane. Like, you realize there's like a third of Americans that went from having politics to schizo posting? Like, this country is not well. No, obviously I'm joking. Like, yeah, I deal with mental health issues. I don't exactly know how to quantify them because I haven't had, like, diagnoses as an adult. I do know there are some diagnoses I've had, like, throughout my life that carry on throughout life no matter what happens. Like, I'm autistic, I know that. But as far as like, you know, do I have depression or anxiety or something like that? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I've got BPD or something. I tell you this much. I will go through like highs and lows where, you know, like for a week or two, I'm just like miserable and irritable and angry and mad and paranoid and anxious. And then, you know, something will happen and suddenly I don't feel so bad anymore and I'm feeling better. And that'll last for 2 or 3 weeks and then it goes back the other way. Yada, yada, yada. What's your favorite color? Black. Thank you for the $2, Lost Boy. We love the tism. We do. We do love the tism. Right now, we are only, I believe, if I'm not wrong, we're only $98 away from the religious ode. $98 away. Remember, you guys can also donate via Cash App. That's down below. YouTube doesn't take a fee, and I can use those instantly. So if you've got it, it's a great way to donate. But you can also use the Super Chat button or Super Thanks if it's after hours and you just feel like giving me a little something to wake up to, you know? Matte black, jet black. Depends on the application. I like black in all of its many and varied forms. But I also like a lot of different other colors. I like color combinations. I like red and black as a color combination. I like black and white as a color combination. I like green and brown is always nice to see together, obviously. If you do like red and black, you can also you can incorporate some other weird colors into it, depending on how weird you want to look or what direction you're trying to go with the look. My ex had BPD. That's what made me decide I'm happily single. Not really a judgmental on people with it, more self-realization. No, yeah, I mean, don't, I don't blame you. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I'm trying to work on it the best I can by addressing what behaviors I know are problematic as I can. I try to improve. I try to be better to the people in my life, but it really is. It's a thing you have to fight against, and you sometimes come away with the impression, man, I'm so much better than I used to be, and then you do something that makes you feel like, God damn it, no, man, why did I do that boneheaded fucking thing? Thank you, King Bugs, for another $10. Holy shit, down to 88. King Bugs is the most deserved name in this entire chat. Everybody else calls them Lord, Master. Like, everybody else puts these grandiose names in their fucking username. But none of you guys are donating hundreds of dollars to the stream. I mean, some of you guys are pretty generous. But King Bugs is the most generous. King Bugs is like, he's like almost like this channel's Mr. Naughty Priest at this point. Almost. Not to disparage the priest. Anyway, yes, we will play some music. I just have to fucking... Let's get a little stoned first, okay? Generosity is my thing. Well, you have no idea how much I fucking appreciate it. Or maybe you do. Either way, it's appreciated a fucking tremendous ton. It is generous motherfuckers like you that enable me to do this for a living. And it literally is the best job in the world. The job I work is the job most kids cite wanting to do if you poll them these days. I wouldn't trade that for the world. And you generous people that donate to me, from King Bugs to Naughty Priest to the person who recommended Damage to Margot, who's fucking always coming in here with donos, to Riley, who paid for my fucking ticket to go to the meetup. I've got a fucking incredibly tremendous fan base, and I appreciate you guys to a degree that you might not realize if you know, if you haven't heard me give my speech on this. How about some Irish traditional? Play Mystic Brew Old Time Memory? I think you mean Mischief Brew, but I'll play it. I'll play it since you requested it. So rare do I get a request I can actually act on that I'll do it. No, I'm not going to sound optimal at that. There we go. Took his blood for rustic charm, sold his ghost as an antique to the city. Kids today can't hold a spade, rest in peace, you'll weary trade. In this world there is no place, such a pity. Well, the barman shakes his head and fills my glass, says we're living in the past. Why preserve a dying past in its misery? We sigh and see another modern man. What a property, not land. So I hold up this battered and will you listen? Come sit down, we're living about yesterday's sad ending. About the water in the whiskey, the brass passed off its gold. Another round, we're lamenting about old time memory of a day when good was good. Silver, silver, gold was gold, sweet home was home. They say you got a wooden stove in your second home. Runs on gas but it looks like a hell, it even gives off smoke and glowing embers. There's a quill hung on the wall, reads home sweet home beneath some wise words from Thoreau. Then they call me a throwback when I cry. Remember, come sit down, we're lamenting about yesterday's sad ending. About the water in me whiskey, the brass passed off its gold. Another round, we're ascending into old time memory of a day when gold was wooden, silver, silver, gold was gold, sweet home was home. Kid, these tools, they're artifacts. Endangered species left its tracks. So lock me up, I'm plastic glass in the city. There's no going back for me. This antique's rustic eulogy shall be sold as folk artistry. Such a pity. And I'll never understand why they long to use such hands to build instead that would always stand in old-time country, but settle for white rooms and hollow floors, wasted ceilings, padded doors, luxury boxes where you stored in what was country. Come sit down, learn a thing about yesterday, sad and think about the water, hidden in whiskey, the brass passed off its gold, another round, we're descending into old-time memories of a day when wooden was wooden, silver, silver, gold was gold, sweet home was home. Yay! I had to lean all the way into the fucking, like, folk punk gravelly voice thing there towards the end. Holy shit, $50 just out of nowhere, Lost Boy. Thank you a ton. I appreciate that. I think that means we're now down to just $38 away from the religious ode. Holy shit. I mean, well, we're $38 and 50 members. $38 and 50 members. I have to remember to push the membership goal too. I'm a retard. You'll have to forgive me. Excuse me. I apologize. Awesome request. Yeah, no, it was. It was really good. I'm not my friend. I'm the one who requested the song. Nice. How much do you hear Mojave 3? Nothing. I'll just play some. I'll play some Mojave 3. Let me think here. Let me think of a good one. One that I haven't played yet. The sun don't love me, and it's easy to cry. Send a letter, and I get no reply. Just to know, return to sender. Just to know, return to sender. Stand all day with a rose in my cheek, and I think that breaking up was just a conceit, because love turns out every hour. Oh yeah, love turns out every hour. Stand by day with a rose in my teeth. Give it to the first girl that will say something sweet. She says thank you, but this flower will die within the hour. Turn to cinder. Oh yeah. I went looking for a priest. I said, say something please. I don't wanna live my life all alone. He said, God will take care of those that help themselves. But you look pretty fucked. Send a letter. And the word on the street is that death is complete when you think that you know where you're going. And the headline in my mind is patience for the blind. If you find us, turn to sinners. If you find us, return to sender. I haven't played that song in years. I can't believe I remembered. Stunning work. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a ton. You have no idea. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that for us. Love that we have. You are the only person I've ever met in my whole life that knows Mojave 3 without having to have been introduced to them by me. That is like our closest area of bondage for sure. Even more than the fact that we're both trans Mississippians. That is like, bravo, hell, aw, thank you. I appreciate you. Me and my cat crawled into my lap doing this. Aw, yay, that's so fucking cool. That's just, I couldn't ask for a better outcome. I feel like I know some more songs from that album, but it's hard for me to remember all the songs on that album. I know I don't know all the words to My Life, and at least I don't think I remember them. No, I can't remember them. Trying to think of some other ones. Taylor requested some Weezer earlier, and I'm trying to think if I know any Weezer that's not a little cringe, you know? Or do I only know cringe Weezer songs? Drowning my icebox. Somebody's cold one's giving me chills. Guess I'll just close my eyes. Oh yeah, alright. Feels good inside. Flip on the telly. We're so Jimmy. Something is bubbling inside my bottle. The bottle is ready to blow. Say it ain't so. Our love is a heartbreaker. Saying so, my love is a life taker. I can't confront you, I never could do. that which might hurt you. Try and be chill. They say there's a water slide that takes you further every day. Hey. I don't know the fucking words to that song. What am I fucking kidding me? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life, man? I'm sitting here playing fucking Say It Ain't So. Don't even know the fucking part of the song. I'm sitting here fronting. They say this something is a water slide that takes you further every day. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Whatever, man. We'll just have to play a different one, I guess. Oh, man. Oh my god, okay, I'm gonna sing a really ironic song. Thank you, Lost Boy, for the 20 kick. I appreciate it a ton. Great singing, horrible haircut. Yeah, I get that a lot. It's fine. Here's a song. I don't know if Taylor's still in the chat, but she'll appreciate this one. Is Taylor in the chat? I want to see. Is she somewhere? I'm looking for her. She's probably already gone to bed. But if she's in here, it'll be funny. California Dreaming. All the leaves are brown and the skies are gray. I went for a walk on a winter's day. You know, the preacher went and called, said I'm gonna stay. California dreaming, sunny winter's day. You know what? I'm just proud of myself for being able to figure out the chord pattern just from memory. Oh, yeah. I was singing with you and my cat ran from my lap. Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Good night, Margot. Good night. Nice singing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. All the leaves are brown and the skies are gray. Okay, that convinces me. Anyway, sorry, I'm just fiddling around at this point. Yep, the chuds are out. The chuds are back out, y'all. And that's all good, though. The chuds have as much right to listen to good music as anybody, I suppose. Well, in the merry month of June, left my home and started walking, left my home a tomb. Nearly broken hearted, saluted father dear, kissed my darling mother, drank a pint of beer. My grief and tears are smothered, then after eat the corn. Leave where I was born, caught a stop like thorn, the banished ghosts and goblins, brand new pair of brogues, rattling over the bogs, scaring all the dogs on the rocky road. Dublin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hot there and tore her down the rocky road all the way to Dublin, Macfanalina. Okay, there we go. Sing Foggy Dew. Okay, I'll have to put a capo on though. Goes down the Glen one Easter morning letter to a city fair road I. Their army lines of marshaled men and squadrons passed me by. No piping on no battle drum, it sounded well tattooed. But the handless bands of their pieces ring out in the foggy dew. But Britannia paid our wild geese go, so small nations might be free. And the lonely graves underneath the waves of the great open North Sea. Oh, had they died at tears inside for fought with Charles Brew. Their faith we keep where many eyes sleep beneath the shroud of the foggy dew. I don't know all the words to it, but those are the two verses that I know off the top of my head. winds rebel, but the foeman's chain could not bring that proud soul under. The army love never swing again, for a border cords asunder, and said no chain shall sully thee. Thy soul of love and bravery, thy songs were made for the pure and free. They will never sound in slavery. Land of songs and the warrior bard, the whole world betrays thee once more. At least thy right shall serve, one fate your heart shall praise thee. Look at that, another fucking 10 kick from King Bugs. By the way, at this point, I'm pretty sure the dono goal has been hit. 38. No, I think we're like 28 away, actually. If I'm not mistaken. We're like 28 away. 18 away. We'll say at 18. Well, tell you what. We'll say we're $10 away if you guys get us up to 60 likes by the end of the stream. The Diddy Dems? Bro, I ain't a Democrat. I'm a fucking leftist. Thank you. I'll appreciate you making the distinction. King Bugs with the 20 kick, fucking knocking it out of the park. Well, shit. All right. Damn, I would have been extorting you guys for hundreds of dollars way fucking quicker if I thought I could have made this much this quick. I would have been setting all kinds of exorbitant goals. I'll fund myself a fucking mansion at this point. No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much, King Bugs. I appreciate you a ton. You have no idea. That's genuinely so generous of you. All you guys that don't... We'll be lucky if I don't collapse a lung before I get to do these shows. All of you guys that donate are incredibly generous, and I appreciate you more than you know. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You guys are so fucking cool. I love this job. Let's see, do I know any other Irish songs? I do. Come tell me, son of Pharaoh, tell me why you hurry so. Hush and broken, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. One more word for signal token, listen out to marching to. With a pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. I come tell me, shot of Pharaoh, where the gathering is to be. At the old spot by the river, quite below to you and me. One more word for signal token, listen out to marching to. With your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. With your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. Out from many a mud walled cabin, eyes were watching through the night. Manly heart was beating for the blessed morning light, and forever. Whispers ran along the valley like the bunch grew, and 1,000 pikes were flashing at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing at the rising of the moon. I don't even feel like that's optimal. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing at the rising of the moon. Yeah, that's more. That's closer. Better. Closer to my ideal range, for sure. I just read that Melanie Truly Nero. What? No? Wait, what's going on? What is going on? Do I know any Stan Rogers? Let me see here. I often take these night shift walks when the foreman's not around. I turn my back on the cooling guns and think for open ground. Far out beneath the tank farm fence where the gas flare makes no sound. I forget that stink and I always think back to that old hometown. I remember back 6 years ago, this western life I chose, when every day the news would say some factory's going to close. Well, I could have stayed to take the dough, but I'm not one of those. I take something free and that makes me an idiot, I suppose. So a big farewell to the eastern town you never more will see. There's self-respect and a steady check in this refinery. Oh, you'll miss the green and the woods and streams, and the hills are dirty brown. But the government dough will rot your soul back there in your hometown. So come all you fine young fellers who've been beaten to the ground. This western life's no paradise, but it's better than lying down. Oh, the streets aren't clean and there's nothing green, and the hills are dirty brown. But the government dough will rot your soul back there in your hometown. So you'll bid farewell to the eastern town you never more will see. There's self-respect and a steady check in this refinery. Oh, I miss the green and the woods and streams, and I don't like cowboy clothes, but I like being free, and that makes me an idiot, I suppose. And I'll give you a freebie. If for just one night I could take the Northwest Passage and find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through this land so wild and savage, and find the Northwest Passage to the sea. Thank you, King Bugs, for another $10. I appreciate that so much. Wonderful, amazing. I fucking appreciate it so much. Hell yeah. A freebie from BB. I love you, King Bugs. You are literally like the coolest fucking motherfucker. You're the coolest alcoholic I know. No, but seriously, I hope you're having a good time. I hope that it's worth it, because, like, you're being so generous. I appreciate it a ton. How long have you been playing guitar for? I don't know, like 10 years. Not very long. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. I bet it's like 4 in the morning. But I'm energetic. I'm manic. It's the start of a manic episode. It is what it is. Whatever. At least my BPD is playing to my favor today. Or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't believe it's self-diagnosed. Just fuck that shit. So one bad thing about drinking lots of water, it will make you urinate every freaking 10 minutes. "10 years, yeah. What the fuck is up with the squatters' rights symbol on the guitar? Because squatters' bitches. Because squatters are human beings too. Because there wouldn't be homes, empty homes all over America for squatters to squat in if it weren't for landlords and people that want to own houses as investment property. Sorry. Want less squatters? Get less landlords. Invest in policies that create less landlords. Are you a boy? Nope. I'm a girl. You can place your to heaven? No. DP sitting or standing up? None of your business. How dare they want to invest? Housing is not an investment. It's a place where human beings live. It's a thing that provides a roof and 4 walls for human being to not die of, it's basically a place for human beings to not succumb to the elements in. It's not a stock. It's not a fucking financial instrument. It's a piece of land and a bunch of wood, metal, plastic, and fucking all kinds of other shit, all put together in a specific way to prevent human beings from, dying from sheer exposure. I have 8 call centers. You can come to work. I don't need to work for your fucking call center. I've been streaming for 2 hours and 23 minutes and I made $230 so far. Trust me, I'm fine without your fucking call center work. Guarantee you I ain't gonna be making $115 an hour at your fucking call center. Sorry, bud. Aww. Well, at least he was only timed for 5 minutes. We can get to see his salty response in 5 minutes when he finds out that I make more, hourly than he probably does. I don't make more monthly, obviously. He probably makes far more. But, I think it's interesting, right? The amount of time that I have to put in for the amount of money that I make on these streams versus the amount of money. Or, it's just it's funny, right? That guy thinks he's so much better than me because he's part of the owner class. But I get to experience some of that same kind of feeling of not having to put in very much in terms of my sheer performance time to be able to make pretty decent money on these. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate the audience that since the nation's end. Obviously, I fucking love you guys more than anything. But it's funny when someone says something like that because they're trying to flex. They're trying to make me feel ashamed and poor. But it really just invites me to wipe in their face how easy my job is and how well paid I am to do it. Imagine if you worked 8 hours a day. Imagine if I had the time to do this 8 hours a day, man. Imagine if I had the time. That's the real kicker. Imagine if a bitch just had the time. You're right. Grifting? I offer a product in exchange for your Super Chat and Cash App donations. Thank you. Content goals. Plus, I play you guys music. Plus, sometimes people just like to send money because I'm nice. Look at that. It is 4 in the morning. It's 4:19 in the morning, you guys. And I'm not tired at all, dude. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm fucking wired. Play something? You're right. I should play something. I'm wired. Why am I so wired? Ah! I've got the zoomies. I'm a cat in human form, and I've got the zoomies. I want to go. Don't feel bad if you need to go, Phoebe. No, I don't mean I need to go like that way. I mean I need to like run a marathon or something. I haven't slept in almost fucking 24 hours, but I'm like, time to go, time to run, time to have high energy. It's the time of your life and you're doing great. You know, like, what the fuck is wrong with my brain? I couldn't have chosen a worse time to have a manic breakdown either. Because it's like 4:30 in the morning. Who the fuck is going to watch this shit? So weird how the human brain works. So I also get weird bursts of energy when sleep deprived. Yeah, I like that. Ultimately, that's what it is, I think. I'm sure when I do finally stop the stream and I like go inside and I get sat down and I eat a little bit, I'll be like so fucking tired. But by the time I'm tired, it's gonna like the sun's gonna be down. Can you play Aerials by System of a Down? Unfortunately, I cannot, friend. I'm sorry. I hope I have played some songs that you've liked tonight, though, and I appreciate the $5 a ton. King Bugs with another 10 kick. That means we are now, holy shit, we have another goal that I haven't even talked about yet, but it's an even longer 12-hour stream where we're going to be covering right-wing grifters. We're going to be doing some call-ins, and we're going to be doing, what was the other thing we're going to be doing? I don't know. I'll have to look at the content schedule. But you guys are $30 towards that, and it is also a 250 goal. Well, it's actually a 500 goal, but it stacks onto the previous goal. I want to hear music. Stop teasing with the guitar. Well, I'm a streamer too. I talk about things besides the guitar. I have to update my fans on the goals. Yeah, you understand. What time the religious episode be tomorrow? Oh, the religious episode is not going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow is just 2 hours of call-ins and 2 hours of bad food. The religious episode remains to be scheduled. I am an events coordinator and I work weird hours. Hey, I don't blame you a bit, Melanie. I don't blame you a bit. I will keep you guys posted with the religious episode. I will work out when the best time to do that is. What time are the call-ins tomorrow? I plan to start the show at 4 p.m. CST. Hopefully I get over this burst of energy and I'm able to get to sleep and get up by like 12 noon so that by like 2 I can do like a hype stream, vertical stream fucking hype thing, and then be truly ready for 2 hours of call-ins and then 2 hours of bad food. Awesome, I'll be there. Hell yeah. Well, with all that being said, please sleep if you need to. Well, that's the thing, is part of me feels like I'm in the type of mood where I might be a little bit insomniac too. So I'm reticent to stop yet because I fear that I would not be able to sleep anyway. But, we're not going to keep it up too much longer. When did I get muted? When the fuck did I get muted, dude? Whatever, man. Whatever. I ain't replaying it. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't. Damn it. Fuck, man. God damn it. Peace. Oh, man. Da, 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 da. I cannot fucking believe that just happened. A comedy of errors. A fucking comedy of errors. So what song was it? Excuse me. It was For an Old Kentucky Anarchist by Mr. Brew. Actually, it might be by the Orphans. I don't know. You have to look it up. Once again, it's called For an Old Kentucky Anarchist. Thank you, King Bugs, for the additional $10 for my fucking horrible ineptitude. I don't know how the fuck you're still paying me, given the, like, I mean, this has got to be the worst content on YouTube Shorts right now. My like most of the last 10 minutes has just been me sitting here being unable to control myself, like just cackling. Oh my god, man. Hey, I'm laughing. You know what? If it's entertaining you guys, it sure as hell is entertaining me. I think I'm a laugh riot for what it's worth. You need major help. Can't disagree with you there. Another song without mute. Yeah, I think I should do at least one without mute because like that's so embarrassing, dude. I can't. I got so into it, man. I did so good. God damn it, dude. I didn't fuck up once. That's why I laughed so hard, because it was just like, it was the universe. It was like the universe just slapping me in the face, being like, gotcha, bitch. Because it's like the one song all night that I didn't really have to like fucking think my way through a lyric or whatever. I was just like, and of course, that's the one I mute myself through. You know what? I haven't played it in a while. I'll play it. Shakedown 1979. At that time. Wait, god damn it. This thing's too close. I gotta remind myself of the fucking lyrics real quick. Damn it, I've played this song so many fucking times. I don't know how I'm blanking on the lyrics. Oh, okay, now I remember. Alright. Shakedown 1979. Cool kids never have the time. On a live wire right up off the street. You have should be. With the headlights pointed at the dawn. We were sure we'd never see an end to it all, but we don't even care, as restless as we are. And we don't know when our bones will rest. Dust, I guess, connected and assured to the ground. Ross, bacon, and the board. You weren't sure just what we were looking for. Morphine, settings, slipping news, down the scene. We don't even care, as restless as we are, and we don't know in the land of thousand. Yeah, support sermon, planted in the sugar to lights down below. Hands to land, the speed of sound. Hands to land, walking go. Need strength. Justy never knew the rules. She hung out with us freaks and ghouls. No apologies that need be made. I know you better than you think. Need to see that we don't even care, as restless as we are, and we don't know just where our bones will rest. Dust, I guess, cemented in a shoe. Whee! Oh, I needed to pop my thumb like halfway through that song, but I did, and man, you were up quite late tonight. This is the first time I've seen you live when I'm waking up for work. Hey, well, you know. No, okay. Now I'm starting to feel it, Mr. Krabs. I think the that initial burst of manic energy might be starting to fade, because I am starting to get a little sleepy now. Sleepy baby. Damn, that's hard. I'm so high right now. I feel like handsome Squidward. Been there, fam. Oh, that's a rare meme. Do you know any System of a Down? No. No. Okay, well, anyway. I think that's gonna be all for today. I'm rather sleepy. I'm very tired now. We laughed. We came, we saw, we conquered. We made $255, which means that if I'm not mistaken, we're like man, I'm high as a kite, dude. Okay. Math. We're like 210 away from the 12-hour show, but I will talk to you guys more about that tomorrow. Night Phoebe, go to sleep. I do need to go to sleep, for real. Dude, my hands smell metallic. I played the guitar so hard for you guys, my hands smell metallic, and they've got guitar grossness on them now. Anyway, good night, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you to everybody, especially King Bugs. You guys were so generous, but especially you, man. That was fucking awesome, and I appreciate it more than you know. It's so fun to do this for work, but it is, like, on some level, a little exhausting sometimes, because, man, I am ready to fucking... I'm ready to lay down. Anyway. Nobody actually gets high, fakes being high, or brags about it, lol. Cheers. I wasn't exactly bragging about it. I was more like complaining. But, whatever, man. Believe me, I guess. Belief or disbelief rests with you. Anyway, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. I'm fucking tired. Good night. And be prepared for further announcements in the morning.